communication, ran a marketing agency, and now I want to market to your soul, your personal brand in your soul. And I want to know before I speak who's in my audience. Who are the buyers in my audience? Are there any buyers here? Okay. What are some of your woes? Some of your communication woes as a buyer? Do I have any CEOs in the room? Any owners? Okay. Okay, Garmin. All right. So I have several different types of people, and I want to talk to every single one of you. So thank you so much for coming up in the front. And I have some books at the front. They're my latest book. It's called The Kind Communicator. And I just want to tell you a quick story about what we're going to do today, just about the kindness innovation. Humanizing our communication is truly about kindness. And kindness is not just about being nice. It's about compassionate leadership. It's about being empathetic. And it's about being compassionate and empathetic in every single relationship that you're in. Not just with your lover at home or with your family, but with your employees, with your teams. And I was talking to some managers earlier. How do we communicate healthily or kindly through email and through speaking, right? We have a hard time doing all of these things. So I'm introducing you to the kindness innovation today. I flew here from New Jersey. I look at the Lady Liberty every day. She's my beacon of light, shining her torch for me. And as I walked into Newark Airport, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to start something. So I want every single person here to think about when you go home to your respective places, El Salwan, or wherever you're going home to think about what you're going to start from your heart. I wrote inside this book and I said, welcome to the kindness innovation. First thing I want you to do is take a chapter and read it and see how it impacts your soul. Take a photo with the book and then pass it on to a stranger or someone in your life that you know needs compassion or empathy. And then let the cycle begin. And I took a photo of a woman, so the kindness innovation started on my way here. So we're going to be thinking about that, and I'm hoping that everyone will be following me thereafter so we can see how this travels. But my thoughts for you are to think about how you can make your own innovation with what it is that's inside of your soul, no matter who you are. So I'm an empowerment speaker, so today's message is for empowerment. You are here, and if you're here, you were meant to be here. So I ask you to take a big breath in, because we always start with breath. The reason why most of our communications are breakdowns is because we're not breathing. We're not thinking before we speak. We just hold our breath when we're angry, we're fearful, we're insecure, and there's no breath. So in every post, in every book, in every coaching session that I do, I will remind you to breathe and smile. And the next thing I want you to do is create an intention. Whether you're a CEO, a manager, employee, or a buyer, create an intention for your communication. Because these things don't just happen on their own. Our clothes don't find themselves to beautiful women sitting in the front like that. They don't just find themselves there. We have to not only create an intention, but we have to take action. Awareness is nothing without action. And then, of course, I'm going to invite you to take a photo if you feel inspired. And you can tag me at Elizabeth Barry Leadership on Instagram. And I'm just going to let you know now that at the end, we're going to have 3 picks and a Q&A. And I'll leave it at that. So I am the kind communicator. Have you guys seen Billions? So I'm like the Wendy Rhodes. I come into your offices. So if you enjoy today's message, invite me to come to visit you. We'll talk to your employees, we'll talk to your managers, we'll talk to your teams about what the breakdowns are, because chances are in your business or in your company, it is very, very difficult for the managers to tell you what's wrong, what's on their mind. They don't want to tell you that because they don't want you to know that they're failing or their weakness. They have this fear, this insecurity. So for anyone that's managing a team today, I want to remind you that if you're not getting the answers that you're getting from your teams, it's not necessarily a minuscule part of your lack of leadership. It's their fears and insecurities as human beings. And it's our duty today to go home to remember to be human, to speak human, to remember no force, no demand, no control, empathetic, compassionate leadership, speaking from the heart, no matter how big or small your company is. Relationships do matter. And I do all of this work based on my books. I have a podcast called Beyond Ego. I do it because we have anger, we have fear, and I truly believe that every breakdown is a breakdown in communication. When we're angry, or we're fearful, or we're insecure, what do? How do we act? How do we look? What was that? Oh, were you saying?
I said rational.
Yes! Wait, does everyone else have a voice in here? Yeah! Can you talk to me? Because I love connecting with you. I want to look into your eyes and I want to hear you. So yes, thank you. Irrationally. What else? You're all embarrassed still. All right, we'll go to the next slide. No, this is why we're all embarrassed and have fears of our failures. But I will tell you this. I was the one who was embarrassed of my fears, and that is why I'm standing on the stage with you today. I created a movement within myself because I wanted to sit in my muck. And let me just tell you how hard that was. I had to sit quiet. I sat on the floor. I had tears. I had bottles and bottles of wine. But through it all came Own Your Vulnerability, came The Kind Communicator, came Design Your Mind to Be Kind, which is the next book that's coming. And now I'm getting goosebumps, but I am standing in front of you as the best woman that I could be at 41 years old than I ever was, because this work works. And the reason why I'm telling you today to do this is because we are so fearful as adults to tap into this part of ourselves that is so painful and so insecure that they didn't teach this stuff in school. In fact, our parents made us feel bad if the neighbors knew what was going on in the house. Did anybody grow up like that? Don't let the neighbors know. So I'm here for you, and I stand for you, and I stand for every single person in this room, because your communication can transform. I am living proof. And the photos that I told you about later, the work does work. The living proof is coming. I get emails, I get texts. Sometimes I get texts from my Kind Communicator book that people have it, and they say, I'm a fucking kind communicator. Or when they're like me, right? Communication is not about being nice. It's about sharing your truth kindly, but sharing your truth. So many of us are scared to speak up. We're afraid to be direct because we don't know that being kind and being direct can come together, because we're afraid we're going to hurt someone's feelings. But once you start this process, this practice, this lifestyle, this way of life, it will change your life, and you will be the happiest, healthiest person. And then you can be on stage with me at my next talk, so you can be my go-to. Be like, look, I changed your life. But this actually came in, I gave a talk in Hartford on Tuesday, and I sold my books thereafter, and one of the girls had bought the book, and I got a text from her just two days after. She was going through, there's exercises in the book, and she was going through these, and I wanted to show you because we all feel rejected. We all feel disappointed in ourselves and unfulfilled and financially hopeless at some point in our lives, right? There's an ebb and flow, there's an up and down, but every single day we have a choice to go up or down, left or right, when we speak, when we react, or how we listen, or how we touch someone's life. And it all starts with vulnerability. That big word that came from the famous TED Talk that I was there. I am a 17-time TEDx curator. I coach the speakers for the stage, I produce the events, I host the event, and I do everything in between. I believe in ideas worth spreading, and I believe that vulnerability is our ability to become happier, healthier adults. And that look, that down look on her face, is the mark. It's the mark of transformation, because I stand here before you as living proof that it is not until you can sit in your muck comfortably, healthily, and own your challenges. You can't go out there and run your business as a CEO or run a team as a manager if you're faced with ego. If you're not acting from your highest self, but your false self, your controlling, powerful self. That doesn't touch someone's life. That doesn't empower anyone. But the minute that you sit and you get in touch with your vulnerable side, your weakness, you hold it up like a scale. Weakness and strength. And sometimes the scale tips. But at the end of the day, you're holding them up equally, always in your hands. Everything starts with being vulnerable, transformation. So I'm going to ask you, the elephant in the room is over there. I was waiting for somebody to look. Yes, he looked. What's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny. You rob. You rob Johnny. I got a prize for you. The elephant in the room, I want everyone to close their eyes right now. The elephant in the room is your current communication obstacle that you have not conveyed. It's sitting in your throat chakra. It's sitting in your stomach. It's giving you gray hairs and wrinkles. It's making your back muscles tense. It's making you put more money in the Las Vegas slots than you normally would. So tap into that communication obstacle, because I want to talk about that at the end. Make sure that you talk to me about this in the Q&A, because we all have something, and I want to be able to have you leave this room today with your own innovation, because your excuses of not taking care of that communication obstacles are bullshit that fears have sold you. Fearless is bullshit. If anyone tells you that they're fearless, they're telling a lie. I believe that there's power in fear. There's power in tapping into our fears. We have to respect the fear. There's a mechanics behind the fear that makes us cringe and stop and say, oh my goodness, I can't do anything, I can't say anything, I can't move forward. But you know what? If you tap into the beauty of that fear, there's courage on the other side. We are all not one size fits all. I bring up nature in all of my talks. In fact, I have books with flower bookmarks, and I have sunflower seeds for anyone who wants to become my seeds today of growth. Because we all can be a seed at any age, at any point in our careers. But we are not one size fits all, and I'll tell you why. For the managers in the room, for the CEOs, for anyone in a career. When you are leading a team and you give them a task, some of your people out there are details-oriented people, right? Who are my details-oriented? Who needs details all the time? Okay. And then the other folks are the high-level thinkers. Who are my high-level thinkers? Okay. So we walk in a room, we give our team a project, and we skim the surface. And then we drop the mic and leave. And then our high-level people are like, oh yeah, done, got it. And then what happens to the detail-oriented people? They're late, they're too fearful, they don't want to tell their boss that they didn't finish it, they didn't understand what they said. So this is where the leadership and the vulnerability comes in, because as a vulnerable, compassionate, empathetic leader, we are not fearful in our powerless to say, I might not have said the right thing to my team. I'm going to have the courage to go in there and say, hey Mary, did you understand what I said? Or can we go over that? Because Mary doesn't have the fear to tell you. You're her boss. You can always hire someone like me and I can come in and we can play. This is my favorite quote of the year. It'll change next year, but right now, we all know how to speak. However, we master the art of communication, but what we say successfully lands on our audience. The message sent is not always the message received. And this is for verbal communication, in person, and email communication. Sometimes in our email communication, we can come off as a real asshole. How many of you are the wrong email writers? How many of you just tell like the Emancipation Proclamation? Johnny does. Who are my brief people? They're like, yeah, got it. There's something missing in between. And that thing that's missing is get to the point. The long email writer people, we don't know how to get to the point. And the brief email people are just like, I don't have time to get to the point. So this is why we have to take a few steps back, and we're going to breathe, and we're going to smile. And the more we breathe, and the more we smile, we become who we are authentically meant to be in any leadership role. And then when you leave the office, and you're mad, you're upset, you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to think about Elizabeth with this glass of whiskey tonight. And I'm going to send her a photo, which I'll get to, and you're going to say, I'm going to smile, and I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to go into the office the next day. This is your innovation that I talked about. This is your book that you're going to inscribe in the inside, to say to your soul, to say, I'm going to make some changes. Because awareness is nothing. You can take this talk and say, wow, that was really good. I feel so good. But awareness is nothing without action. Choices and decisions are two different things. We have so many choices galore. But choices are not action. Decisions create action. Remember that. Whenever you give the excuse of, oh, I have this choice and that choice, the only thing that's going to get you to the other side, my friend, is a decision. And if you are fearful of making that decision, step into your power and make it, because fear is only a feeling. And courage comes out when you take a risk. Take the risk. Fall. Get up. Do it again. So when I talk to you about communication and breath, I feel like it's like an inhalation and an exhalation. This is the letting go of all of the patterns that do not serve us anymore, and the letting in of new patterns. It's replacing the bad habits with the good habits. Because every breakdown is a breakdown in communication. You can move and take chances and create better relationships in your marriage, in your love life, in your family life, and in your work life. This stuff doesn't just take place at the office. All of this stuff is like an infinity loop, right? It never ends. If you can be kind to yourself and find the courage to do that, because the great Maya Angelou said, they might not remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. Your approach is everything. So when you're pointing and you're blaming the other person, remember who started the fire. And it wasn't Billy Joel. So stress. Stress is a result of us holding in our communication, right? We're not being kind communicators, we're going to stress ourselves out. And I'm telling you, the biggest thing about not communicating is that, and I hate to say it, I want to stand for you when I say that, it's a sign of lack of self-respect. Self-care, self-love, they're big words right now, even for the men, the strong men in my room. But you have a serious lack of respect for yourself if you're not speaking your truth. And you owe it to yourself to speak what's in your heart. And if you don't, it starts to show. And when it starts to show, it starts to come out of your mouth. Or it doesn't come out of your mouth. And that's when you have the avoider or the allower. Do I have any avoiders in here? Can I have some vulnerability? Anybody? Yes! Yes! Who are the people in here that allow? Yeah, I was an allower. I know an allower. So, when we come to a place of when we're being an avoider, avoiders take communication obstacles and they don't talk about it. They just let it go. They just let it fester. But that's what's happening, it's festering. And when you're an avoider and you're having a lack of communication, you're creating this unwanted, subconscious stress and fear in the people around you. So the next time you're avoiding, I want you to fly above yourself in real time and say, oh God, Elizabeth, I'm avoiding someone right now. Or the next time you allow an unhealthy person, an unhealthy employee, an unhealthy person in your company that is telling you or is holding you back from your journey, remember to set your healthy boundaries. It's hard to say no, but once you do it the first and the second and the fifth time, you're going to walk around like you are the Statue of Liberty. You're going to raise your freaking torch and be like, okay, not in good ego, not bad ego, but good ego. So I'm going to do an exercise with you right now. These are my 4 steps to communicate like magic. It's accountability, reliability, responsibility, all the things that we have to do. So I want everyone to sit up straight right now. And I want you to take your right hand, make a fist. Don't punch the person next to you. We're all having kind communication. Take your pointer finger and stick it up. Now bend it down to the front. Now curl your pointer finger in. Oh, you guys are badasses. It's your fault! No, I'm just kidding. It's all you. Every single time that we want to point and blame our business, our brands, our consumers, our market, our niche, social media, we are responsible and we have a choice to change. And the last one is to decide and act. If you mess up, fix it and lead the way. When we decide and act, when we marry actions with words, we are the innovators. Your team is looking for you to innovate. Just like your customers want a new piece of clothing, a new pair of shoes, the people around you want to see new and innovation all the time. And the thing is to become magically clear. How do we do that? We watch our insecurities and our idiosyncrasies. Are you a yeller? Does your team roll their eyes? Do you fold your hands? How are you in email? Are you demanding? All of these things are to be watched because you start rising up. Follow-ups. This is a huge one. Some of us are afraid to follow up with someone because we think we're going to be a pain in the neck. How many of you do that? You're like, don't bother her. Guess what? When you follow up with someone, you might just open a piece of their soul that you never even knew existed. They might come up and say, thank you. The art of thank you. And you were fearful. You had so much fear to just tap someone on the shoulder, tap, tap, tap. I just want to follow up with you. When you have people that haven't given you a project or proposal or an invoice or a quote or maybe a check, and you're fearful of following up, be the kind communicator. The more kind you are, and the more you follow up, the chances are you're going to get a better response. And here I stand for you, I stand for a better you, to react versus respond. To breathe before you speak. To empower versus control. For the people that are leading teams, we have a tendency to take our ego claws onto our people and go, but the truth is, all they want is to be empowered. Every one of us wants a smile. Did you guys see that social media thing that was going on Facebook where they told people that they looked beautiful, and they showed their reactions to how they looked beautiful? It's the same exact experience that your people are wanting around you. The more we can live in this moment like this, I'm telling you, it's a life changer and a game changer. And the art of saying thank you, I want to make sure that we get this. I have taken saying thank you on as a daily saying, a daily phrase, phraseology. Especially when someone gives us constructive criticism. And this you can pass on to your teams and your employees. When someone's giving us constructive criticism, what do? We block them. We're defensive. No, can't be me. No, sorry. But the answer to all of that is the art of saying thank you. The more you can say thank you in your communication, the more you will become a happier, a healthier adult. It's not about anybody else. It's really about you and your health and your happiness here. Because at the end of the day, when you're 90, when you're 100, and you're sitting on that bench having a nice iced tea, you don't want to think about the regrets in your life. And they did a survey, they did a study of people that were on their deathbed, and they said, what do you most regret? And the things that they regret were their communication habits and their patterns, what they didn't say, how they didn't connect. Beautiful things happen when you clear your negative energy. Sunflowers are heliotropic. I have some sunflowers here with my books. They turn their face to the sun and the sky. And when there is no sun, they turn their face to each other for their energy. So what does that tell you? Nature is a teacher. Think like the sunflowers. You can always think positively. And when you can't, turn to the people. In the hardest situations of your life, in the biggest challenges, turn to the people that you can connect with and look into their eyes, because the answers are going to be there. Real-time transformation happens when you look into someone's soul and you stop talking. So many of us are interrupters. We just want to get our point across. We have to be right. We want to be perfect. Am I going to fall off the stage? Getting excited. Someone give me like a boundary line. Johnny in the back. Yeah, you guys can catch me. I'm some strong man in the front. So the thing is, and I'm telling you that all of these slides are based on my work. I have done this work and I've changed my entire life and my entire career. And I am the happiest person I can ever be. I mean, I really am like this. Ask my friend Michelle, she's in front. I mean, it'll last all day. But the real-time apologies and in-the-moment shifts, they actually happen. When you're in an argument with someone and they really piss you off, you're going to find yourself saying thank you. Or you're going to find yourself breathing and smiling. Or you're going to find yourself looking into their eyes and feeling for their pain. These are the moments in our lives that we must cherish. And we must create our own innovations out there, because no one is teaching this. And as adults, we have to stand for that. And I am standing for you today to do that. Because this is my Oprah moment. Because you get love, you get love, you got love, everybody gets love. You can change people's lives when you speak from the heart. And it's as simple as that. The kind communicator. It sounds kind of silly, but it's really... I have clients that I coach, and they're like, I use the kind communicator. You'd be proud of me. It really starts to work when you do this work. So I want you to go home and write your next chapter about being more curious, asking more questions, being a solutions-based thinker or speaker. When someone comes to you in the office, come up with a solution. Have a solution to something instead of pointing or blaming or sending them away. We owe it to ourselves to do this. The drama, the toxicity, the telephone, it goes on in the offices. I coach them. And they just keep going and going and going. And I'm telling you from the beginning of this talk, it's only because of our fears. Your employees' fears, your fears, all of our fears are holding us back from the courage that wants to stand out and say, I can do this better. So now's the time where we're going to take 3 photos before our Q&A. I want everyone to take their phone out for a second. We're only going to take 2 photos. I lied, my photo's over there. All right, so take your phone out. And if you can, turn it around and take a selfie of yourself smiling. This is your insecurity moment. Ah, yes, yes! You're all gorgeous. I know the girls know how to do this. Whichever way. And now I want you to take a photo. That's my cell phone. And I want you to take a photo of my cell phone and pick up a card. And I want to inspire you, empower you, motivate you. The next time you're in a communication obstacle, the next time you put something into practice that you learned from today's talk, I want you to send me a selfie of yourself and just say what you did, because I really love the opportunity to come and speak with people and meet with people and talk with them from all over the place. I'm honored to be here today with you. I'm honored to share my my pain. I could tell you my story if I wanted to. I never make it about you. I'm a TEDx speaker and a coach, so I never really sit up here and tell you my stories. I really want to learn yours. And I'm honored to be here to share my communication story with you. I have books that I can sign and you can go home with. And I want to ask you now, what are the communication obstacles that you guys have, and how can I help you overcome them in this moment? Remember that intuition, that moment where I asked you to look into your, this is mine. I need an opener. I need a strong man. What's your name?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown! His real name is Charlie Brown. Thank you, Charlie. By the way, my favorite one, does anybody else like one-liners? My favorite one-liner from the Charlie Brown Halloween